Hey everybody, Pat Wallace here with you. Wanted to share these archived videos with you from the 2020 election. These are your incumbents and some of the return challengers. Now, this is your chance to reply. This is your chance to make a difference. Now check it out. Hey Tuskegee, it's time for another episode of Tuskegee Online. This is the digital platform that gets you up close and personal with the candidates that are seeking your vote in the municipal elections on August 25th, 2020. In studio, we have our incumbent mayor, the Honorable Lawrence Tony Haygood. Welcome to the forum.
Good evening, thank you.
Wonderful. Could you please state your name, the office you are seeking, and define the role and responsibilities of that office as you see them?
I'm Lawrence Tony Haygood, currently mayor of the city of Tuskegee. I'm seeking re-election to the office of mayor of Tuskegee. In position as mayor, your primary responsibility is to coordinate with the city council, city manager to make sure the city is operated properly. We establish the policies. The mayor represents the city in all official capacities. You have to review and sign off on any major activities within the city. Some tend to forget how important that role actually is in the city, because you're viewed as the leader of the city and the representative for the city. If you go to something at the state, the national, and even international level where we have been, they're going to look to the mayor to give them direction. The mayor works with the city manager and particularly directly with the city council. And so that's why the mayor's role is so important in the city. The mayor gives us direction in terms of what our vision is and where we're going in the community, and people take that from the mayor and the city. The only slight difference here is that we're under the council form of government, the manager council form of government, which is slightly different than in most other cities.
Great, that kind of is a good segue into the second question, which is, what is your vision for the city of Tuskegee?
Well, my vision for the city of Tuskegee is to see us become one of the most dominant communities in terms of a smaller, educated African-American community in the United States and throughout the world. We're already very well known, and we've been known for some major accomplishments in this small community. But we have to develop our city from that side. The university has done some tremendous things. We've had individuals representing this community to do tremendous things in science, with Dr. Carver, in education, with Dr. Washington in music, with Lionel Richie and Tom Joyner, and Richard Wright in literary. So you name it, there have been major accomplishments out of Tuskegee, and people today continue to do tremendous things. Dr. Lonnie Johnson and his inventions. So I could go on and on and on, but I see us as developing that community now, where people recognize this community as an outstanding community, where we have developed. We make improvements to our streets, our infrastructure, which we're already working on. We improve our educational level to come on up to even higher level. Dr. Brooks has done an excellent job, but she needs help to really boost the entire community. We want to improve our appearance of our parks so that our recreation comes back. We want to revitalize our community. Our community was vibrant for a number of years. We lost a lot of the people who were here who helped give us that direction, people who volunteered to do the coaching at the park, people who would get out into the community and help clean up or give direction, spiritual leaders and others who gave so much to this community. So my vision is to see that come back, where there are people excited about our community, people who are investing here, people who are giving direction, who are volunteering, young people are getting involved, and to see that as already happening, the college students getting back involved in this community who contributed so much in the past. Not only politically, they contributed tremendously in terms of the economic development of our community. I want to see us rebuild our connection with the university and the community, as well as the VA hospital. That's our foundation. And so that, along with our history, developing our history in terms of the historical sites we have, and other assets such as the National Forest and many other assets that we have, to take advantage of them and make Tuskegee be what it can be.
Thank you. We're going to get into some of these tougher questions because, you know, the city is facing some really tough times, and what you mentioned about the students contributing back brings us to another question with regard to the population of the city of Tuskegee. A citizen recently said to me that it seems that we are hemorrhaging citizens. Students are being actually encouraged to live in Auburn and our remaining population is getting older and older, and fewer people are moving here than are leaving. What as mayor would you do to help mitigate our population decline?
Well, we've already started a number of measures to that, and I would kind of challenge that idea that we're hemorrhaging people. The situation with the students having gone to Auburn was an emergency situation with the university. The pandemic brought that on because you had to have some people distance. We had already reached out to the university to offer to them an opportunity to get more student housing here, and that's already in progress. We're working with developers now who are coming to build student housing in our community. We have a number of people who are actually investing in this community and moving back home. I don't know if people have noticed it, they may have overlooked it, but if you go down on Old Montgomery Road, you see two houses right now being redone right across from where the old City Bank used to be, the old Institute Post Office. Spencer Tolbert is doing several houses here on Green Street, and one across from the former Mayor Neal down on Alabama Avenue, totally doing that house. There are people coming back and investing in this community. So I think that's one vision of it, but if you really look around, you'll find many people invest in this community. There's a group from Detroit and up north who are Tuskegee alumni who are buying properties here and are investing in our community. So I think if you look around, you see more people coming back into our community and seeking to live here and be viable.
And you just answered one of our other questions already. Thank you very much. I was going to ask you about what you were going to do about the housing crisis, and you just mentioned a lot of those things, so thank you for that.
Yeah, we have developers. Right now, we just met some this week who are out of Memphis and Houston who are working together to put housing here in this community.
Thank you. Next question. The global pandemic has impacted all aspects of everyone's life, from the way we bank, go to school, pay our bills, and interact with the government, entertain ourselves and everything. In your opinion, what impact does the COVID-19 crisis have on the way that the city is actually governed now, and how do you think it's going to affect us going forward?
Well, it has had minimum impact on how we're governing. The biggest adjustment we've made is not opening the lobby. We can't have a lot of people coming into the complex because then it exposes a lot of people to potential spread of the virus. So we try to minimize that by distancing and limiting the lobby as so many other public places have. So that's the major adjustment. And we've had one period of time where some people work from home. But for the most part, we've been able to continue our operations and provide the services that citizens wanted. They come to the drive-through. Those who need to come inside, we'll bring them inside one at a time. We sanitize, isolate them to meet with whoever they need to, and get city business taken care of. Going forward, I think the biggest challenge is how do we look at the budget? We don't know what will it be. No one in the United States does. There's a great deal of uncertainty about it, and that's why it's important to have some experienced people in office to deal with that, who know what they're doing. I sit as one of the 10 mayors out of 460 on a special task force with the Alabama League of Municipalities. I was selected to be on that task force to decide how to deal with the $740 million that came to the state of Alabama, to make recommendations to the governor how to deal with it. And we got $409,000 in Tuskegee allocated and $700,000 to the county. And so I'm pleased to have done that, and we're still operating. We meet directly with our Congress people and make recommendations to them as they are now considering another distribution in terms of the money that comes down. They give so many different names, but it basically deals with the coronavirus stimulus money that comes to the communities.
Thank you so much. Another question. A lot of citizens have been talking about this, and I hear a lot of this, keep my finger on the pulse. Currently, the city of Tuskegee has a city manager and council form of government. Do you, as the mayor, believe that this is the best for the city? And please explain why or why not.
Well, if you remember from the beginning, I was one of the few people in my setting, a lot around my friends, that said I didn't support it, because most of the major cities in the state of Alabama don't operate with the mayor, the council manager council form of government. That's mostly for cities that are well developed. Most of the African American communities don't have it. Most of the rural communities don't have it, because we need that close contact. It's very difficult because it puts another layer of administration in there, and it can cause challenges if you're not working together. Fortunately, now we work through that, and we're working much closer than ever with our current city manager, but it presented challenges for us going forward. People go to the manager, they go around the mayor, they go around the council, and you have to bring people back together. That's a whole nother layer of getting things done. The other day we had to get something done down on Alabama, down on Auburn Avenue, had been neglected. I had to go to the manager after someone had called me. They didn't call the manager, they called me. The message got to me. I had to relay it to the manager, who had to relay it to the department head instead of me going directly. So it adds another layer. It works. If you notice, most of the places where places that work, Vestavia, which is wealthy and well-to-do, Mountain Brook, those areas, and Auburn. Most other cities you look at, 90% plus in the state of Alabama have the strong mayor council form of government. Mayor council is the strongest. That's why I still believe. Because you get things done directly, you don't have to go through another layer. Our city manager right now is great. Mr. Kevin Owens, great job. But we had challenges in the past.
Thank you very much. This is one of the more sensitive questions that was brought up to us. And this is a two-part question. Law enforcement and criminal justice reform have been very hot topics lately, especially since the recent high-profile murders of black civilians. And we had a really nice protest in front of the complex about this. The city has had its own difficulties in this regard as well. And with all due respect to all the men and women who wear the badge and run into harm's way to protect the system, the citizens, I have these two questions. What can you do as mayor to allay the concerns of many of the citizens regarding having so many police living outside of our jurisdiction and therefore not so readily available for duty here in Tuskegee? That's first. And the second one is, many high-profile citizens have discussed the possibility of merging local police into the sheriff's department. Is that something that you would entertain if you are elected mayor?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think that's necessary. You don't see it in any other community. I don't think we should consider that here. We're an independent city. The sheriff and the sheriff's department does a good job. Our police department does a good job. I take issue with the court statement about the availability of our police department. Our police department is here and on top of it. I have clocked them in times when people have called, and within 30 minutes they've been on top of it and in action. That's unfortunate that some take that, but that's because some want to make it that you have to be here. In so many cities, the police live outside the community and come in. That's not just in Tuskegee. If you just remember recently, Selma's chief was from Montgomery. He didn't live in Selma. That's something that's going on more and more as people who are professionals go to a particular community. Now, our challenge right now is we've been asking for those who presented, I say it again, if you have some people who are qualified and want to come forth and apply, we have openings right now in our police department. I've said it in the last several weeks. We have no one called, but they can still say that, but they don't call. They don't present any candidates. We have openings at the fire department. We were at the fire department today. We're looking for firemen. We're looking for local people to take those positions. But a number of our firemen, not just our policemen, live outside of this community. We're looking for people in the public works department. So for those who entertain, I simply ask them, please present us some viable candidates. We don't want to admit what the reality is in our community. There are not a lot of people living in this community who have those qualifications or desire. And so if we find them, we're happy to employ them. I went to the graduation where the last class we hired, 2 out of the 3 that we hired were from Tuskegee, Macon County. And so we were very pleased to do that. But when I was down there, Mayor Gillespie out of Prattville, he was trying to grab some more. We had graduating 3, he wasn't graduating before. His city is much bigger. The mayor of Millbrook, the same way, was looking for more policemen. All of us are looking for more policemen, and you have to get them from wherever they come from. And we have to get used to that reality.
Thank you. Now, could you please tell us what are your top 5 priorities for the city, and how will you address them?
My top 5 priorities are, number 1, as what we focused on in the past, stabilizing the city financially. Because if you don't stabilize the city financially, all these dreams that people come up with and ideas they have, they can't be executed because you don't have the financial base or resources. The second thing is to improve the quality of life in all areas, and we do that by working together, connected to the university because it's a major entity in our community, and working together to capitalize on what we have in this community. We have major assets here that communities outside don't have, but we're not taking advantage because we're not working together strongly enough to take advantage of that. So we'll be working together, stabilizing our financial condition, improving our streets and our neighborhoods, so we have more people who are anxious to live here. They've been like that for years. That's nothing that just came up recently. But we have a major effort we're making right now because we're in a financial position to do it. When we came in, we weren't in that financial position because we were literally broke. The bills were not being paid. We had almost $1 million in recent debt, not long-term debt, in current debt that had not been paid, that we had to take care of, first of all. When we took a bid on Exit 38 on the infrastructure, almost over $500,000 project for one part of it, and it was over $2 or $3 million, but just one part of it, we couldn't get anybody to bid. They said Tuskegee's reputation for paying its bills weren't good. So we went back to rebid, and the gentleman said, well, this is a grant. And so we got ready to rebid, and they said, well, they didn't, the city of Tuskegee didn't pay sometimes when they had grants. So we had to reestablish a strong reputation, which I think we've done, and our financial stability, and that's why that is critical. So then you go to the quality of life, improve the housing, which we're doing right now. We're bringing the housing not only for students, we're working on workforce housing. We have 95 acres out there on the other side of St. Mark Church. We have 40 acres on the other side of Booker T. Washington High School, which will allow us to develop that housing, and we're working with investors on that.
Thank you. Now we are going to get into some of our online questions with our online chat monitor, Ms. Elise Tolbert. Ms. Tolbert?
Good evening.
Good evening.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for participating tonight. We will take questions from the audience. If you have a question, please enter it into the chat box, starting with your first and last name. Our first question comes from Dr. Elaine Harrington. Her question is, what projects do you currently have in process that you can cite as being pivotal for your continued mayoral leadership?
I think the economic development that we have is key, and it's at 2 stages. At Exit 38, we are out there today, we'll be out there tomorrow. The president of Trenton State University, the interim president, came down yesterday and met with us to set up the training for those that we're gonna need out there. That's Dr. Anita Archie, who I worked with when she was in Mayor Strange's office, and then worked with again when she was at ADECA, so she's coming back to work with us there. Exit 38 allows us an opportunity to not only generate dollars for this community, but to wake up the community economically and get others involved. Also, the development at the airport, where we opened up the new airport terminal. We have new contracts that we're developing for hangars out there, and people who are coming into our airport, which will generate dollars and new interest in our community. And I think that's key in terms of our growth and development. If you see those 2 major things going, you see us rebuilding. Eventually we'll come downtown, and the next effort is we'll work with Main Street.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Dorothea Ligon Hawley. Her question is, what are you doing to make unincorporated communities such as Little Texas and others feel a part of the city?
Well, they're actually not a part of the city, and so we can't do that. What we can do is work with them. We partner with them in terms of the resources we have in our general planning. We work with the commissioners and community leaders. So, for instance, we worked on T100. This would have affected the whole entire area. We worked with persons and individuals from all those different areas to talk about how it would impact them and the growth and development that needs to be made. So what we try to do is reach out to people from those communities and their commissioners and our chairman of the commission to plan together. With the Economic Development Authority, it goes throughout the entire county. So we work on a countywide plan and try to see how things impact the different areas in terms of recreation. We want to have a bike trail that'll go from here to Auburn, for instance. See, that'll go right through their area. That links Chihuahua Park to Tuskegee National Forest. That's a natural link that we could get going. That will help their community as well as ours. So we look at how we can partner and have benefits for both in all communities.
Thank you. Our next question comes from a participant by the name of Skeegee Night Spot. Their question is, why is
first and last name?
Unfortunately, I do not have a first and last name.
Yeah.
First and last?
No,
Okay.
yeah, they need a first and last, yeah.
Okay. So our next question comes from Miss Ella Coward. The question is twofold. She says her question is about paving roads. She asks, what streets have you paved since you have been in office, and how do you go about picking streets to pave? The second part of her question is, have you adopted a budget for the year?
Yes, we adopted a budget back in January. And we've been operating on that budget since January. That's part of misinformation that people put out because they don't know and they don't get the full information, but we've been operating on that budget. The budget is strong. Not only this year did we do well as a result of our audit, the previous year we did. We increased by $1.5 million at the end of this year, our net position. Last year we increased it by $989,000, almost $1 million. So in just 2 years, we've increased our net position by over $2.5 million. And so this year's budget should put us in an even better position despite the pandemic. To the first question, we paved the streets over on Crenshaw Circle, and I think it was McNair and Crenshaw Circle were two of the streets that we paved. We took down 18 houses over there. We did a total rework of Chandler Street, if you remember. Chandler Street collapsed right before homecoming. We had to get major resources to take care of that because we had to work with the university. The drain was coming down from the university side. The street drain had collapsed, which they had coming into our drain. We had to spend about $30,000 plus. And Mr. Roberts, the interim city manager, did a great job. I told him, I said, Mr. Roberts, we got to get this done. We got it done before homecoming, we got it done in time. But it was 3 entities. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, because of the sewage, the city of Tuskegee because of the drains, and Tuskegee University because they were connecting into us. It was a major problem there. So we've been working on streets as we had to. It's like when you're in a situation, your budget's not there and you need a new car. Well, in the meantime, you still got to go to work and get everything else done. So you make it until you can afford to get there. And that's how we worked the city. When we came in, we didn't have anything to work with. So we did everything we could do and kept it going. We got new equipment where we could in grants in terms of fire department, new trucks for public works, and now we're getting to the streets because now we're in a position where we can get to the streets. And the order of streets will be determined by our city council persons. We all make a recommendation of which streets we think need to be done. Naturally, the streets that are connected streets will be done first.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Willie Streeter. This question is, why is Tuskegee still on curfew when no other county in Alabama has a 12 a.m. curfew?
I'm not sure if any other county has it. I'm not sure if that's true in other counties and cities, but on the recommendations of talking with our sheriff, see, we talk to law enforcement. We don't just isolate to our police department. We talk with our sheriff. He made a recommendation we should maintain it. Our police chief was okay with it either way. But with some of the challenges we have in Tuskegee right now, some of our citizens also recommended that. So I would suggest that he come to the city council meeting because that's where the business is transacted, or he could call in, as we have invited him before, and present that, and we might entertain it. But we should know why he feels it's so urgent to take it off, because people have been telling us, citizens have said they want it on.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Mr. Scott Muhammad. This question is, he is a resident of the Ridgewood community, and he says that he has been very disappointed by the level of neglect directed at their community. He says, I've only seen you here once, and that was to campaign for our vote. COVID-19 has exposed peculiar and distinct vulnerabilities specific to our community. If single mothers here begin to become infected, what is the city's plan to handle children that may need to be removed from the home?
Well, we'll look into our healthcare services that we have available and our partners that we have. COVID-19 is handled with a group of partnerships, and most of the healthcare professionals give us direction on that. We're working with Dr. Maxwell, we're working with our healthcare centers here, we're working with Tuskegee University, we're working with the state health department, so we're going to put every resource available to address that problem. Mr. Muhammad may not have seen me there. I don't know where he was when I was there with Mr. Mark Rush, who's gone on from us. I was there several times with him in the Ridgewood community. I was there with Mr. Guy Trammell on several occasions and passing out food distribution on other occasions. So I've been to Ridgewood and several other communities on a regular basis. He saw me the other day because it was a campaign period. He happened to be home, and we went door to door. We didn't just go to the office there, as we met with other groups in the office there at Ridgewood. So he may have forgotten. I don't know if he was there at those times.
Thank you. Our next question comes again from Dr. Elaine Harrington. Her question is, could you please share any leadership in appointed positions outside of the city council that you currently hold?
Well, recently I was appointed to the Executive Committee to Alabama League of Municipalities. That's important because as you go up, you're able to connect into resources with the League of Municipalities. As I was saying, we meet regularly with our congresspersons, Mike Rogers, with Senator Doug Jones. I met with Vice President Biden when he came recently to the Selma area and several others. I've served on the AmFund board, which is a multi-million-dollar board which makes resources available. I'm a United Way River Region, United Way board member for the River Region, which has put numerous resources in Macon County. I'm on the Workforce Development Board, the Governor's Workforce Development Board, which sets up workforce task centers, which makes jobs and job training available. So numerous other positions that I, pleasantly serve on, and naturally still with the CDC, where we help a lot of businesses get started in this community at the Community Development Corporation.
Okay, thank you. Our next question comes from Ms. Stephanie Simon. She asks, as mayor and a member of the UBT, can you explain the process of decision-making for major land purposes, specifically related to the development of sites and promises of tax relief?
Development of site and promises of tax relief?
Yes, so can you explain the process of decision-making for major land purposes, for major land purchases that the community pays for with tax dollars?
The community pays for it. Actually, UBT invests in it. There's a requirement to invest so much in UBT. We have to hold so much in reserve. Part of that reserve can be done in purchases. So like Alabama Power and other power companies do, they have to have a reserve. We invest in our community. And I think that was a brilliant thing that Mr. Long did, who's a CPA, who's our general manager. We bought properties downtown that we didn't own. For instance, the parking lot behind the municipal complex, the city didn't own. For years now, we've been trying to get to it. We are now taking over that property because UBT said, oh, we need to own that. So that's an asset, that's an investment. That decision is made by the UBT board and recommendation of investors who come to us and say, you might want to consider this, you might want to consider that. We made purchases for little, you might consider pennies on the dollar, that'll be major assets for the utilities board. So it's very well protected, and that's why we're reviewed by auditors and bond people on a regular basis to see what our investment are in security. So that's just a reinvestment of the money that we have to hold in security. We can't do anything with it. We can't give it away. We can't give it back. We have to hold it in reserve. But part of that reserve allows us to invest it in valid assets. We've invested in valid assets in this community which will improve the community. Like we just purchased the Old Calhoun Foods. Now we can develop it for something for the city or something else in the community or economic development. That's a major asset that was blighted upon the community and it's right downtown. That's thoughtful thinking, that's progressive thinking. So I think when a person really looks at that, they'll come to understand it, but we'd be glad to share with them more. Everything is reviewed by financial people because we cannot take the public's money and bond money, which is part of that with UBT because they have bonds that we have to fulfill and make sure that they're protected. And so it's reviewed to make sure that they're sound purchases.
Thank you. Our last question comes from Cornelius Smith. His question is, if re-elected, what is your plan for community development?
The key thing is to, our focus I've already said on Exit 38 is to come back to the downtown area and start working on downtown. We have some people who are interested in downtown. We're already working with Main Street. COVID-19 put a hold on that because we couldn't even have meetings with Main Street. But now they're trying to see how they can get things going again. You'll see the community develop, and then we have other pockets of community development. Like I said, we're already looking at the 95 acres out on the other side of St. Mark Church on Highway 80, and then there's 40 acres out there. We have one other location. The city owns 18 acres off of Highway 29 that we don't even have to purchase. So we're looking at how do we take those and develop them. The warehouse over on Gautier Street with the other building that the city owns, the nursing home, we're going to take that and develop that whole area. We're going to take it down, and so you got acres there. It's 6 acres, probably another 4 acres, and another 3 or 4 acres. So you could have 12, 14 acres right there on Gautier Street for a nice development. So we look forward to doing that in the coming years. We have a lot of people who are interested in doing that and working with us.
Thank you, Mayor Haygood. And as we reach the end of another episode of Tuskegee Online, could you please tell the people, take a moment and tell the people why you should be reelected as our mayor for the city of Tuskegee?
Well, I would ask for your voting support on August 25th. We're excited about what we're doing. We have proven success. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about a dream. We're not talking about a vision that's happening out there. There are things you can go and touch at the Exit 38, things you can touch at the airport. There are contracts you can see. There are things going on in our community. You can go see people coming in here because there's a new spirit of enthusiasm in our community from people outside and inside. They're willing to invest here. They see positive things happening. I'm being put in positions representing Tuskegee because people have confidence in us. And I serve on those major boards because they see things happening in Tuskegee and they're excited about it and they know that we have good representation. So we are opening things back up for our community and growth. And I think it's important to keep a good team in there, good representatives. You can't overlook experience and proven success. And I think that's what we have in terms of what we've done in these last 4 years. Despite the obstacles that we faced coming in, despite the fact that we had to climb out of a hole, look at the things that were done in a positive way. I admit there's some things we couldn't get to, such as the streets and the potholes, but that's something we're going to be driving at right away because we're in a position to do that. So I think that if they look at it, they'll find that you can't get past experience, success, and a proven record. If you check others' record, I think we stand much higher and taller with a proven successful record.
Thank you, Mayor Haygood, and thank you to the viewers and all the people who participated in tonight's forum. We invite you to remain at your computer or your phone for the next episode of Tuskegee Online as we bring our next mayoral candidate into the forum. I'd like to thank our chat box monitor, Miss Elise Tolbert, our timekeeper, Miss Lucinia Dunn, our hostess, Marion Garman. Our Zoom pilot for the day is Kelvin Stevens. Our AV programmer is Kim Motor City with Anointed One Productions, and Bill Perry is on the audio system. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next candidate in just a few moments.
Okay, that was that. Now this is your time and this is your chance to make a difference in your community. Make sure you make comments and reply. Stay tuned because we expect to have some more videos coming soon. Make sure you go out to the polls. Thank you, Tuskegee.